Why are you still waiting for permission? Are you waiting for a sign, for a grand invitation from the universe to step into the life you were always meant to live? Let me ask you a deeper, more brutal question. Do you genuinely believe the world owes you anything? Do you believe that simply because you've suffered, because you've endured hardship, that a benevolent force is finally going to deliver your success to your doorstep, neatly wrapped in a bow? That the universe will, at long last, recognize your potential and say, now, it is your turn? If that's what you believe, then you have not yet begun to fight. You are still living in the emotional prison of your past, chained to the hope of a rescue that will never come. The world does not care about your potential. The universe does not owe you a single thing. You were not given a ticket to a grand theme park of life where all the rides are free and you just have to wait in the right line. You were given a single, unyielding, and terrifying truth. You are a blacksmith, and the life you want, the success you crave, is not a gift. It is a sword forged in the furnace of your own will. Look at the giants of history, the men and women who bent reality to their will. Andrew Carnegie was not born a steel titan. He was born into poverty, a bobbin boy in a textile mill, earning $1.20 a week. Did he wait for the world to hand him a chance? Did he sit in the corner and hope for an invitation to the world of railroads and philanthropy? No. He saw a telegraph office and decided to master it. He learned the rhythm of the clicks, the language of the wires, and he did so with an intensity that burned through the noise of his circumstance. He didn't wait for a sign. He became the signal. Thomas Edison, a man who gave the world light, was not just a genius. He was a force of nature. A teacher once told him he was too addled to learn anything. Did he let that emotional assessment define his reality? Did he internalize the words of a man who saw his curiosity as a weakness? No. He became the architect of his own education, the master of his own mind. When asked about his 10,000 failed attempts to invent the light bulb, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10 zero ways that won't work." He wasn't a victim of failure. He was the student of his own process. He understood that every temporary defeat was simply data, a brick in the foundation of his eventual triumph. The key to their greatness, the pulsing heart of their legacy, wasn't luck or circumstance. It was their absolute, uncompromising mastery of their own minds, their own emotions. They were not at the mercy of their feelings. They did not allow the fear of failure, the sting of ridicule, or the crushing weight of their past to dictate their future. They made a choice. They decided that their inner world would dictate their outer reality, not the other way around. That is the core of this philosophy. This is the unvarnished truth that separates the dreamers from the builders, the wishers from the warriors. You must, with a ferocity you have never known, master your emotions. You must become the emperor of your own inner empire, and your feelings must become your loyal subjects, not your tyrannical rulers. Consider the feeling of fear. It is a primal, potent force. It whispers that you are not ready, that the market is too saturated, that the timing is wrong, that you are not enough. It tells you to retreat, to hide, to settle, and for most people, fear wins. It paralyzes them. It traps them in the amber of procrastination and regret, and they spend their lives watching others build the world they once dreamed of. But for the masters, fear is simply a messenger. It's a signal that they are standing at the edge of their comfort zone, the boundary of their personal growth. They don't ignore it, they acknowledge it. They look it in the eye and say, "I see you, and I'm going forward anyway." Fear is not the enemy. The enemy is the emotional paralysis that fear induces. The enemy is allowing the feeling to become the action, allowing the thought to become the outcome. It's the moment you feel the sting of rejection and decide to stop making the calls. It's the moment you feel the weight of a setback and decide to give up on the project. The world is full of brilliant, talented people who allowed their emotions to write the final chapter of their story. Don't be one of them. Your mind is a vast, untamed wilderness. Your thoughts are the seeds you plant, and your emotions are the fertilizer that makes them grow. If you allow the seeds of doubt, of resentment, of inadequacy to take root, you will soon find yourself lost in a jungle of your own making. You must become a ruthless gardener of your own mind. You must pull the weeds of negative self-talk the moment they appear. You must water the seeds of ambition, of courage, of belief, until they become trees with roots so deep they cannot be shaken. This is not a simple task. It is a lifelong practice, a daily war against the part of you that wants to settle, to be comfortable, to give up. The most powerful people on earth are not the ones who never feel fear. They are the ones who feel it and act with courage in spite of it. They are the ones who feel the pull of doubt and respond with an even stronger pull of purpose. They are the ones who feel the crushing weight of a setback and decide to put in one more hour, one more day, one more month. This is the forge. The forge is the world. The fire is the pressure of life. And your will, your definite purpose, is the hammer. And you must, with every ounce of your being, hammer your destiny into existence. The greatest architects of success understood that the mind is not a passive receptacle, but a workshop. It is where raw, formless desire is chiseled and shaped into a tangible, definite goal. This is what Napoleon Hill called a definite chief aim. It is not a wish, not a hope, not a vague aspiration. It is a burning obsession, a detailed blueprint of what you intend to accomplish, written down and carried with you like a sacred contract. It is the North Star that guides you through the darkest nights of doubt and confusion. Without a definite chief aim, you are like a ship without a rudder, a wanderer on a vast, indifferent ocean. You will drift with the tides of circumstance, blown by the winds of other people's opinions and expectations. Most people live their lives in this state of perpetual drift. They chase a new fad, a new opportunity, a new promise of an easy life, only to find themselves back where they started, empty-handed and exhausted. Their energy is scattered, their attention is fragmented, and their emotions are in constant turmoil because they have no anchor. Think about Henry Ford. He didn't just want to build cars. He had a definite chief aim: to build a motor car for the great multitude, an automobile so affordable that every family could own one. At the time, that idea was considered lunacy. The car was a toy for the wealthy elite. But Ford's aim was so specific, so deeply ingrained in his mind, that it became the lens through which he saw the world. Every challenge, every setback, every seemingly insurmountable obstacle was simply a problem to be solved on the way to his definite aim. He wasn't emotionally invested in the problems. He was fanatically devoted to the solution. He refused to be ruled by the feelings of impossibility that surrounded him. He was ruled by his vision. He was controlled by his outcome. Your emotions will constantly try to sabotage your definite chief aim. They will present you with feelings of inadequacy. They will tell you that you are not smart enough, not connected enough, not charismatic enough. They will try to convince you to shrink your goals to fit your current reality. But a definite chief aim is meant to expand your reality, not conform to it. It is a declaration of war on your own limitations. When you feel the sting of rejection after a cold call, your definite chief aim reminds you that this call was just a single brick, not the entire building. When a project fails, your definite chief aim whispers, "This is not a defeat, this is a detour." The difference between a definite chief aim and a wish is belief. You can wish for a new job, but a wish is a passive, fleeting thought. A definite chief aim is a conviction so profound that it becomes an unshakable inner reality before it becomes an outer one. This is the faith that Hill spoke of. It's not a religious faith. It's a self-generated emotional certainty. It's the feeling of knowing that what you desire is already yours, and that the only remaining task is to do the physical work to bring it into existence. This faith is not a gift. It is a discipline. It is the result of consciously and repeatedly planting the seeds of your desired outcome in the fertile soil of your mind. You build this faith by using autosuggestion, This is the process of deliberately feeding your subconscious mind with positive, empowering thoughts. It is the act of speaking your definite chief aim out loud with conviction every single day. It is the act of visualizing your success in vivid detail so that your mind can no longer distinguish between the dream and the reality. It's the mental rehearsal that prepares you for the performance. Every morning, you must tell your subconscious mind what it will be working on today and what the final outcome will be. You cannot allow it to be a playground for random fears and worries. You must become its master. The mind is a battlefield, and every thought is a soldier. Are you sending soldiers of doubt to occupy the high ground, or are you sending battalions of belief to conquer it? The choice and the outcome is entirely in your hands. This is the internal work. But the internal work is meaningless without the external action. This is where most people fail. They read the books, they listen to the speeches, they feel the surge of motivation, but they never bridge the gap between inspiration and organized planning. They fail to translate their definite chief aim into a tangible step-by-step plan. A vision without a plan is just a hallucination. It's a beautiful dream that will never materialize. Look at Walt Disney. His definite chief aim was to create a place where families could come together and feel joy. That vision was the fire, but the plan was the blueprint. He didn't just wish for Disneyland, he drew every detail. He planned the layout, the rides, the characters. He meticulously organized the steps to bring a fantastical idea into physical form. When his first project failed, when his animation studio went bankrupt, did he crumble? Did he surrender to the emotional weight of defeat? No. He saw it as a temporary setback, a necessary step in the organized plan. He took the blueprints, the lessons, the experience, and he started again, this time with a more refined plan. Your plan does not have to be perfect. In fact, it is guaranteed to be imperfect. It is guaranteed to encounter roadblocks and detours you never anticipated. But having a plan, even a flawed one, gives you an objective measure of your progress and a point of reference when things go wrong. It allows you to separate the emotional sting of a setback from the logical need to revise your strategy. Without a plan, every obstacle feels like a personal failure, a judgment on your character. With a plan, it's just a variable in a larger equation, a puzzle to be solved. Your plan is your emotional shield. It's the thing you focus on when your feelings are screaming at you to stop. It's the next step you take when the path ahead seems too long and too difficult. It's the one thing that keeps you moving forward, even when your inner world is telling you to retreat. The masters of success are not those who never feel overwhelmed. They are those who, in the midst of overwhelm, refer back to their plan and take the next single logical step. The greatest illusion you will ever face is the lie that your circumstances are the master of your destiny. That the family you were born into, the economy you live in, the failures of your past, and the opinions of others have more power over you than you do. This is the myth that holds the majority of humanity in an emotional and financial chokehold. The truth is far more brutal and far more empowering. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is your discipline, the disciplined mastery of your mind, and the disciplined execution of your plan. Discipline is not a natural state. It is a habit forged in the fires of resistance. It is the practice of doing the things you know you should do, even when you don't feel like doing them. It is the conscious override of your emotional brain by your logical, purposeful mind. Every morning, your emotions will present you with a menu of comfortable, easy choices. They will offer you another hour of sleep, a scroll through social media, the avoidance of a difficult conversation. They will tell you, just wait until you feel motivated. But the masters of success know that motivation is a fickle lover. It comes and goes. Discipline is the loyal, unyielding spouse. It is the one thing you can always rely on. Think of it as a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. The more you choose the difficult, purposeful action over the comfortable, lazy one, the more effortless that choice becomes. When Thomas Edison worked for days on end to find the right filament for his light bulb, do you think he felt a surge of motivation every single minute? Of course not. There were moments of frustration, of fatigue, of crushing doubt, but his discipline was stronger than his doubt. His will was more powerful than his weariness. He had a definite chief aim, an organized plan, and an ironclad discipline to see it through, regardless of how he felt in the moment. This is the power of persistence. Persistence is not a heroic burst of effort. It is the quiet, relentless continuation of effort long after the initial excitement has faded. It is the refusal to accept temporary defeat as a permanent condition. It is the ability to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and take the next step, not because you feel like it, but because you are committed to the outcome. The world will test your persistence. It will present you with setbacks that feel like the end of the road. You will be told no, you will be rejected, you will be mocked, your ideas will fail. Your plans will crumble. These are not signs that you are on the wrong path. These are the inevitable tolls on the road to mastery. They are the friction that hones your character and forges your will. The average person sees a setback and feels a crushing sense of personal failure. They internalize the defeat, and their emotions convince them to give up. The master, however, sees the setback and says, "This is exactly what I expected. Now what's next?" They don't react with a feeling. They respond with a plan. The masters of the universe, from Lincoln to Carnegie to Ford, all had a shared understanding that persistence is the price of admission. Abraham Lincoln lost his mother, his sister, his children, his fiancée, and countless political elections. He failed in business and suffered a nervous breakdown. Do you think he was in a state of emotional bliss as he endured these trials? Of course not. He was a man acquainted with sorrow, but he persisted. He kept his eye on his definite chief aim to unite a fractured nation, and he refused to allow the emotional weight of his personal tragedies to derail his national purpose. His persistence wasn't a product of an easy life. It was a testament to a life of pain, endured with unwavering purpose. Your emotional state is a choice. You can choose to be at the mercy of your feelings, or you can choose to be the architect of your emotional state. This is what Hill called autosuggestion and applied faith. It's the deliberate act of influencing your own mind, of creating the emotional environment that will support your success, not tear it down. You must become a master of your own thoughts. Every time a negative thought enters your mind, "I can't do this, I'm not good enough, it's too late for me," you must immediately replace it with a positive, empowering one. You must use affirmations not as a casual practice, but as a mental combat sport. You are at war with your own limiting beliefs, and every moment is a critical skirmish. You must repeat your definite chief aim, your definite plan, and your conviction of success until it becomes the dominant reality in your subconscious mind. This is the internal, invisible work that produces the external, visible results. You cannot simply wish for a better life. You must build it. You must forge it. And you must do it one disciplined, persistent, purposeful thought and action at a time. The world is a reflection of your inner state. When you master your emotions and command your mind, you will find that the world begins to bend to your will. The outcomes you seek are not out there waiting to be found. They are within you, waiting to be created. The final and perhaps most difficult piece of the puzzle is the relentless pursuit of specialized knowledge. It is the understanding that a definite chief aim and a disciplined mind are nothing more than potential energy without the specific, actionable knowledge required to bring your vision to life. The world is filled with dreamers who had great ideas but never took the time to master the craft, to learn the mechanics, to understand the market. Their dreams evaporated not from a lack of will, but from a lack of wisdom. You see this in every field. The aspiring writer who dreams of a bestseller but refuses to study the art of storytelling, who won't spend the hours analyzing the rhythm of dialogue or the architecture of a plot, the aspiring entrepreneur who wants to build a great company but won't dive into the numbers, won't master the principles of marketing and sales. They are in love with the idea of success, but not the process of earning it. They are in love with the destination, but refuse to walk the road. The masters of industry understood this better than anyone. Henry Ford was not just a visionary, he was an obsessive tinkerer. He studied every aspect of manufacturing, every nuance of assembly. He didn't rely on a vague hope that his factories would run efficiently. He designed them. He became an authority on his craft, and that specialized knowledge became the bedrock of his empire. Thomas Edison was not just a man of ideas. He was a man of the laboratory. He was an emotional fanatic about the process of discovery, the hands-on work of testing, failing, and learning. His specialized knowledge of electricity, chemistry, and mechanics was the very foundation upon which his monumental achievements were built. Your emotions will resist this pursuit. They will tell you that the learning is boring, that the detail is unnecessary, that you already know enough. They will create a feeling of intellectual arrogance, a sense that you are above the hard work of mastery. This is a subtle but deadly trap. It's the feeling that convinces you to skim the surface, to chase the quick fix, to avoid the deep dive into the fundamentals. You must learn to override this feeling with a sense of passionate curiosity, with a profound understanding that the more you know, the more powerful you become. This is not about general knowledge. A quick search on the internet can give you 1,000 facts. That's useless. Specialized knowledge is the kind that you can apply to a specific problem to get a specific result. It's the knowledge you earn through experience, through trial and error, through mentorship, and through relentless study. It's the kind of knowledge that makes you an authority in your chosen field. But what if you don't know what to specialize in? What if you feel scattered, pulled in 100 different directions? This is where your definite chief aim returns as your greatest ally. Your purpose, once clearly defined, will filter out the noise. It will illuminate the path of knowledge you must walk. It will tell you which books to read, which mentors to seek out, which skills to acquire. It will replace the feeling of confusion with the feeling of focused intention. And this brings us to another pillar, the power of the mastermind. No one achieves great success alone. The masters of history understood that their own individual knowledge, no matter how specialized, was finite. They consciously surrounded themselves with brilliant minds who had skills and expertise that complemented their own. They formed alliances, what Hill called a mastermind group, for the sole purpose of achieving a common goal. Think of Henry Ford and his top lieutenants. Think of Elon Musk and his team at SpaceX and Tesla. They aren't just brilliant individuals. They are a collective intelligence. They are a fusion of minds working in perfect harmony, a synergy that produces an outcome far greater than the sum of its parts. Your emotions will try to isolate you. They will whisper that you are an imposter, that you have nothing to offer, that you should not ask for help. They will tell you that you must go it alone. This is the ego's trap. The ego wants to be the sole hero of the story. But true success is a team sport. It is the result of collaboration, of shared purpose, and of collective wisdom. You must override the emotion of pride with the discipline of humility. You must be willing to admit what you don't know and seek out those who do. You must be willing to give as much value as you receive, to contribute your own specialized knowledge to the collective. The mastermind is not a social club. It is a strategic alliance. It is a powerful antidote to the feeling of isolation and a magnificent accelerator for your journey to success. The emotions you feel when you're alone in a struggle are no match for the conviction you feel when you are aligned with a group of people who share your purpose and believe in your potential. This is the ultimate expression of control, not just over your own mind, but over the very forces of reality itself. By mastering your emotions, defining your purpose, building a plan, and surrounding yourself with a collective of brilliant minds, you are not simply hoping for success. You are making it inevitable. You are not waiting for a sign from the universe. You are becoming the universe. You are becoming the force that creates the outcome. The greatest and most powerful paradox of this entire philosophy is that in the ruthless, disciplined pursuit of your definite chief aim, in the mastering of your emotions, in the forging of your will, you discover a profound sense of spiritual power. It is the understanding that the universe is not some indifferent void, but a responsive force that mirrors your dominant thoughts and feelings. This is not some magical thinking or mystical fluff. It is the law of cause and effect applied to the mind. You get what you give. If you give the universe doubt, fear, and scarcity, that is exactly what it will reflect back to you. If you give it unwavering belief, focused energy, and a clear, definite plan, it will respond with opportunities, with synchronicities, with people and circumstances that align with your purpose. This is what Napoleon Hill meant when he spoke of infinite intelligence. He was not talking about a deity in the sky, but a universal law of reciprocity, a principle that governs not just the physical world, but the unseen architecture of human thought and emotion. The feeling of gratitude is the most powerful emotional accelerator you possess. When you are grateful for what you have, your health, your family, your skills, your opportunities, the very fact that you are alive and able to pursue your purpose, you send a signal of abundance to the universe. You are not begging for more. You are celebrating what is already here. This sense of gratitude shifts your emotional frequency from one of lack and want to one of fullness and appreciation. When you operate from a place of abundance, you attract more of it. Your emotions will constantly try to sabotage this feeling. They will present you with a daily parade of grievances, of things you don't have, of ways you've been wronged. They will try to pull you into the swamp of comparison and resentment. They will tell you that you are a victim of your circumstances. You must become a ruthless counterpuncher. Every time the feeling of inadequacy or resentment creeps in, you must immediately respond with a feeling of profound gratitude. Thank the universe for the lessons learned. Thank it for the skills you possess. Thank it for the challenges that have strengthened you. This is the core of adaptability and resilience. Resilience is not just bouncing back from a setback. It is the emotional and mental discipline to extract a lesson from the setback and use it to propel you forward. It's the ability to find the seed of an equal or greater benefit in every adversity. The masters of industry, the titans of thought, they did not just endure hardship, they consumed it. They transformed it. The failures of their past became the fuel for their future. When Disney's first animation studio went bankrupt, he didn't see it as a permanent defeat. He saw the lessons in it. He saw the new skills he had acquired, the people he had met, the knowledge he had gained. He used the emotional pain of failure to forge an even stronger commitment to his dream. He was not a victim of his failure. He was the beneficiary of it. Your feelings are not your destiny. They are a signal, a gauge, an internal compass. But you are the one who chooses the direction. You can use a feeling of sadness to retreat, or you can use it to reflect and rebuild. You can use a feeling of anger to lash out, or you can use it to fuel a constructive, creative response. Your emotions are the raw material. You are the sculptor. You are the master. This is the final unyielding truth. You are not here to be a passive observer of your life. You are not here to be a passenger on a journey orchestrated by chance. You are here to be a creator, a builder, an architect of your own reality. You are here to live with a burning desire so intense that it incinerates every trace of doubt. You are here to live with a faith so profound that it makes the impossible feel inevitable. You are here to live with a discipline so strong that it makes you unstoppable. This is not a journey for the weak of heart. It is a path of relentless self-mastery. But the reward is not just a larger bank account or a more impressive title. The reward is a life lived on your own terms. The reward is the profound, soul-deep satisfaction of knowing that you forged your destiny with your own two hands. The reward is a mind that is no longer a prison, but a powerful creative engine. The reward is a life of purpose, of meaning, of power. Do not wait another day for a sign. Do not wait for permission. The only sign you will ever get is the fire in your own heart. The only permission you will ever need is your own. Now go. Master your emotions. Control your outcomes. And begin to build a life you were always meant to live. The work begins now.